everyone, it's Morgyn from For the Love of Paper, and I'm here with a Project Live process video. This one is part 4 for June, and this one's a double page spread because it was a special event that Sam and I went to. We went to Disney on Ice, which this year had Frozen as part of the lineup, along with a few other Disney classics. We've been, I think this was our maybe fourth year going, I can't remember. So yeah, there's some of the photos are quite dark because it's a bit hard to take photos in there, and I didn't want to have the flash going. So yes, they're not the best photos, but I really wanted to record the memory and the event. So yeah, that's what we're doing today. So I just started off with all the photos that I had printed, and the ones that that you can see I've got bits of sticky note on them. Either I want to print them again in a bigger size, like that one of Sam and I want to print that again as a 4x6, and the one down the bottom I think I'm going to just cut part of it off because part of the photo's kind of irrelevant. So I just made little notes to myself as to what I wanted to print again, or photos that I wanted to change. And that top corner I just wanted to add in part of the leaflet, and it won't all, or the flyer that you get when you go there, and it won't all fit, and I do have to chop off a few heads and stuff, but I make it fit as best as I can, and you get the idea of it. It still has the title in it and a few of the characters, so it's just working with what you've got. Unfortunately, they don't design them to fit perfectly in a 3x4 rectangle. So there, it almost fits, but I have to chop really close to their faces on the bottom of that one. And I think I just scraped the top of Rapunzel's head on that one, but it fits in, so I'm happy with that. So it's using up the memorabilia, so I didn't have to put a filler card in there or another journal card, and I didn't really have any more photos that I wanted to use. And yeah, then these were the tickets that we had when we went, so I wanted to include those. I know that in 6 months, a year, 10 years, you probably won't be able to read those because it's that, I don't know what they call it, the thermal printing, where it just sort of rubs away after a period of time. So I know that in years to come you won't be able to read what seats we had or when we went, but for now that will just have to do. I think I have taken a photo of them, so I might include that at the back of the album just as an insert or something else along the way. So now I'm starting on the second side of the 2-page spread. So these were all 4x6 photos that I had to put on this side, but again, I just, like this one, there was just so much blank space off to the side of the main image, so I just cut it down to a 3x4 to make it fit in one of the pockets. I think I can't remember if I use a page protector that's got the 6 4x6 or if I end up cutting those middle photos in half. I can't remember what I do. So then just putting in, I do put in I think 2 filler cards or 2 journaling cards where I just write out what we did and what we saw. Yeah, and then the other 2 I just leave as filler cards, really, as I do with most of my layouts. It was such a good show though. It was really good. Sam, I think this was probably his favorite one that he's been to, and Frank didn't come with us this time. It was the first time it was just Sam and I, because normally we go as a family, but this year he couldn't get a day off work, and it just costs so much money. It's not a cheap thing to take a 4-year-old to, so we just had a day together. We went out and did that, and then we went and had lunch and did some other things. So it was just a fun day for Sam and I. I mean, it's a shame that Frank missed out, but I don't really think he's that worried about it, to be honest. So do I cut that one down? Oh yeah, I cut that one down, and then on the journaling card that's on the right of the screen there, I'm pretty sure I end up writing in how Sam felt about the day. I'm pretty sure I asked him what he thought about it and what he enjoyed the most, so then I just put his responses in there, which is a nice way to record not only my thoughts and feelings about it, but his as well. And I guess that's the most important thing. These albums are going to be for him, on his children, and whoever else wants to look at them in years to come. So it's nice to have his input in it. And not that pen, obviously. So this is really quite a simple layout. I don't embellish anything at all, really. In fact, I don't think there's any embellishments at all on this whole layout. It's pretty photo heavy and just a few little notes from the day. And sadly, I don't think we'll be going next year. Well, a number of reasons. One, as I said, it just costs so much money, and two, when it's on, he'll be at school next year, so I don't really want to take him out of school to go to that. I know it is on the weekend, but it's harder to get there, and it's usually busier on a weekend. I usually take him on one of the weekdays, so I don't want to take him out of school. And I will also have a newborn, and I don't really want to take a newborn to see a 2.5 hour long stage show. I just don't think that's appropriate for me or for anybody else that has to deal with a crying baby if that does happen. So we won't be going this year. I might go the following year when the new edition is, I'll be probably about just over a year old. I don't know if they'll be old enough to go then, but we shall see what happens in the future if we go again. Oh look, I do stick an embellishment on it. And I used a stamp set. I hardly ever use my stamp sets. I've got so many of them. I hardly ever use them. It's ridiculous. I think that one says Good Times, and that was from a Studio Calico monthly kit. Oh, can't remember from when. Somewhere at the beginning of the year. They're just little cork stickers. And what are these? Oh, rub-ons. These are some Heidi Spot rub-ons. I think it's a little star, which kind of seemed appropriate for the layout. Is that everything I do to that? I stick those down to a card. I know that much. I really can't remember. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm just sort of rambling at this point. I do apologize. And I apologize for any noise that you can hear in the background. There seems to be some sort of incident out there, and police cars or fire engines or ambulances. I'm not sure. There's a whole ton of sirens going on out in the background, so I'm not sure if you can hear that or not. You probably can. So I apologize for all that noise as well. And what card did I end up using? Oh, it was one that said currently on it, which we were currently at the show. So that's, I hate that. I love that tiny attacher, and I hate that tiny attacher. It's the We Are Memory Keepers one, and so often the staples don't like staple. That they stick into the paper, but the bottom parts of it don't fold over. Does that make sense? I know what I'm talking about, but it's really hard to describe. But when they fold at the bottom, that one just sometimes doesn't, and you just end up with this big staple poking out the back of your photo or your piece of paper. It's really, really frustrating. I don't know if maybe I don't press hard enough, or if it's just a fault or what. And I'm using the staples that the same brand. They're the We Are Memory Keeper colored staples, so I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but it's annoying. And going back to this one, so that's just a simple camera in the middle of a card, do a quick outline on it, and I think I call that one done. Yep, it's upside down. That's okay. And this one, do I journal on this one? Or do I do it as the title card? This could be, I don't know. It's a mystery. Oh, that's right. I wanted to try and stamp on these photos, but they're all so dark that it's just near impossible to stamp on them. And I didn't have any white ink. I've got a white ink pad, but it's all dried up, so I need to get a white re-inker at some point to be able to do that. And then I tried to stamp onto a label, and I think the first time I did it was just a fail. My letters didn't line up. I don't know how. So this was, I think, my second attempt at doing this. I cut the rest of it out. So I just wanted to label what parts of the show they were. So there was like Frozen, Beauty and the Beast. What else did they have on there? The Little Mermaid. Can't remember. There was like four or five different movies that they reenacted little parts of. And then of course there's Minnie and Mickey and Donald and Goofy, and I can't remember that. Who's the other one? The girl duck? Daisy. They come out and do little things as well, sort of in between each show or each movie clip. It's pretty cool. I really quite like the way that they've done it. I know I did a layout last year, so I probably said the same things. The shows were quite similar to last year's one, other than this time it had Frozen, whereas last time it didn't. Oh, Tangled, that's the other one that they do, which is the remake of Rapunzel, for those that haven't seen it. So I just wanted to label what each one was, and then I got out my giant Stampin' Up roller stamp. I love that stamp. That's probably my most used stamp. Yeah, it would be my most used stamp, because I can do the date on it, I can do words on it. There's a couple of little like pictures, like a heart and a star and a smiley face or something else on there. But you can fit, I think it's 10 or 12 letters across, which is really, really helpful for spelling out things, especially when you don't want to get out teeny tiny stickers. So that is the layout done, guys. Yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.